Nivellen was a sickly human child, often weak and in ill health. His nanny, Lenka, would often read him fairy tales to comfort him. His father and his grandfather before him grew their family's fortune at the helm of a gang of highwaymen and cutthroats. After his father was killed, Nivellen inherited command of the gang, although who was truly in command is clear. Committing many misdeeds, we find ourselves on this one fateful day, the robbing of a temple in Gelibol, in Redania, at which point the gang coerced Nivellen into raping a young priestess. She fought, she spat and cursed Nivellen. Being a priestess of the Kodam Ater, also known as the cult of the lion-headed spider, her curse carried phenomenal weight. You are a monster in a man's skin. You will become a monster in a monster's skin. And sure enough, several days later, within his secluded manor in Redania, Nivellen's form changed into that of a beast, though his mind and his personality remained unchanged. He became confused, panicked and enraged. All within the manor, which had begun to magically reflect Nivellen's mood, fled or died trying. Many lonely years later, Nivellen spied upon a man stealing an indigo rose from his courtyard, roses his aunt was fond of. Initially furious with the man, he recalled the stories from his childhood, and that his fate seemed to be straight out of a fairy tale. Surmising that perhaps those tales, especially those of beautiful young women turning frogs and beasts back into men, contained a grain of truth, he demanded the man's daughter live with him for a period of 1 year in return for gold and gemstones. This led to a long string of beautiful young women, of whom he treated like true ladies, coming to live with him for 1 year at a time. There was a noteworthy young woman named Fen. She was the first of many to sleep with Nivellen, although none were forced, but she was most notable because she came up with the idea of scaring away unwanted visitors by riding naked upon Nivellen's back, blowing the hunting horn of his grandfather. After which came Primula, the next year Ilka, the year after Venimira, and then Verena. Verena was special, as she decided to stay. And then Geralt came later, after finding corpses of a merchant and a beautiful young woman upon the roadside near the manor. Being a witcher, not much scares Geralt, and at the unsuccessful attempt at scaring him away, Nivellen instead invited him inside. Nivellen told Geralt his story, remarking that living with a different beautiful young woman each year wasn't such a terrible arrangement, but feared his condition might be worsening and he would truly become the beast that he appeared. Finally, he asked Geralt to kill him if it became true, which Geralt agreed and then leaves, still suspicious of the woman currently living with Nivellen. Just as Geralt figured out that Verena was in fact a Bruxa, which is a powerful vampire, she attacked him. A fight ensued within the courtyard. A difficult battle, Geralt struggling with her intense speed when Nivellen appeared and shouted for Verena. Verena sent Nivellen flying into scaffolding and buried him under timber. Continuing the fight, Geralt was then paralysed from the Bruxa's scream, when suddenly Nivellen appeared once more, shouting for Verena, distracting her and saving Geralt's life. Nivellen then impales Verena with a long pole through the chest. Verena didn't die, however, but instead pulled herself down the pole, closer to Nivellen, impaling herself further. Using telepathy, she told Nivellen that she loved him, and moved to rip out his throat in the act of a selfish lover. If she couldn't have him, then no one could. Geralt beheaded her before she could do so.
So what? What about Verena? The Bruxa with the fondness for blue roses from Nazaire. He showed her no mercy.
Verena killed many an innocent. I had to do something.
Love, mixed with blood, as the priestess told, lifted Nivellen's curse, and he was a man once more.